I'm Alison Crombie. I am Marketing and Communications Director for Empowered. We service customers that are predominantly B2B across network infrastructure, cabling requirements, and project management. But we also support consumers across home installations such as smart internet-based products and telephony products, connectivity products. So it's a blend of B2B and B2C requirements and consumers. I have been working with Pistachio for, I was thinking about this, it's 10 years. So it's across two businesses, two organizations. It started all the way back about 10 years ago when I was looking for an agency that could support us when I was at Empowered 10 years ago. I've been there twice now, and we were looking for an agency that could really support us across a whole range of marketing and comms requirements. So it was across our website, it was a rebrand, and it was content and collateral. I then moved into the education sector where I went to St Albans School as Director of Marketing, Emissions and Communications. And following the really great relationship that I built with Pistachio and the team, approached them again to look at re-engaging around a rebrand that the school was going through. I was the first person appointed as head of marketing and comms, and they really wanted to go through a rebrand exercise to take them into that next sort of chapter and era of the school that really needed that strong rebrand and engagement and creativity. I think there are a number of things that I really enjoy about working with Pistachio. Flexibility is one of them. It's certainly something that they always bring to the table in terms of requirements that I bring to them. There's a lot of flexible support there, whether it's me wanting to get their input on something quickly or wanting to look at how we can update some creative ideas. There's a real flexible approach and mindset. They give you lots of options. I think one of the things that's really important when you're going through, especially a rebrand exercise, or you're looking at taking existing creativity and a look and feel of perhaps an organization or a school, you want to have some options with work that you might want to present to your line manager or to your head. And they're really good at coming with some great options where I could, as the internal person, talk to the SLT and really show them possible directions we could go in. So it's not a one size fits all approach. It's very much looking at what could be, a strong potential opportunity or option for you, and all the way through to other ideas that could potentially work. So they're really good at giving you options and flexibility and the creativity. They're also very good at understanding the brief. So when it comes to actually translating what you think you might need and want, they're really good at interrogating it and understanding what you might need as an organization. So just making sure that when they come back and present some ideas, they actually meet your requirements and you're not having to go back to the drawing board. Also being really responsive. So that's something that's just super. Sometimes I would throw things at them saying, gosh, I really need some help with a banner that I'm going to need to create, or I need a piece of content that I want to put out on social media. They're really good at responding to that. And I think it's not always a case of it needing to be a big requirement for them to get on board and help. Sometimes you have those smaller needs that you also need input on, and it's really fantastic to get that input. And very clear with costings. I always felt in control of what we were spending. Some agencies, and having had experience managing a lot of agencies, that isn't always clear. And I think when you're an organization where cost is really important and you need to be able to demonstrate benefit to cost, having that clarity and that transparency is really fantastic. I think working with Pistachio has made both myself and my team more effective and strengthened. It just makes you feel very supported. So it really is an extension of our in-house team. In recent organizations that I've been working in, we don't have a big marketing department. So that additional support does really become an extension of your own team. And that's something that has really benefited us, as well as the focus. I think having an agency that is smaller, that can really dedicate time to you, really makes you feel valued and important, and like the work that you're doing matters. So I think that's been really important for us. But also the tangible outcomes. I think ultimately it's fantastic doing all the creative side of the work, but you need to be able to see the outcomes. So you need to be able to see the results. And it's always something that Pistachio have done really well, is to really demonstrate how they could add value to what we're doing. I think the most significant achievement that we have seen in our business, both in my current organization, but also in St. Albans School, was really helping us to become that best of breed organization. Being able to translate these ideas and creativity to really help position us as best of breed and a leader in our field. That's something that I really felt Pistachio helped us to take big steps in, to really move into that next chapter of the organization or school's life. And I think also to be able to see the results, to be able to see the engagement, the interest, the feedback, all of the factors that we would set up as key criteria and benchmarks to success. I felt that those were something that Pistachio really helped us to achieve. I would describe Pistachio as small but mighty. They're a boutique agency, which I think is something that is really valuable when you're an organization that wants to make sure you're seen and you're heard and you're listened to, but you want to be able to deliver and create outstanding work. You want to be able, as a marketing person, to be able to really help your brand shine and meet the requirements that are set out by your managers or by the SLT. So I think Pistachio is really good at exemplifying that small but mighty agency. I would recommend Pistachio, and it sounds boring, but it's important because you get predictable outcomes. I think it's really important to know, and when I say predictable outcomes, it's knowing that you can really have that trust with the agency and the team that work on your account, where you know that you can hand them a brief and you will get a great piece of work or a great campaign or a great set of ideas coming back. So the predictable outcomes for me, with the work that they do, was a really important factor and something that I would recommend. I'd also say the extension of the team. I'd recommend them because they really are like another part of our team, and we would work together as one team. And I really felt that they would amplify and help us really demonstrate the kind of strength of our in-house team, but giving us that external expertise. And I think also culture. They're great to work with. They're fun to work with. They've got a super culture. They really try and think outside of the box. And it's always enjoyable, sharing ideas with them and coming back with solutions. So definitely the culture.